As a philosopher, Dr. Kreeft, I know, and I know this also as a historian, sometimes you say that you don't keep your nose to the current winds. Your philosophers and historians are necessarily studying the currents of centuries ago, but where would you say, in your own observations, philosophically speaking, where is the West going?
To hell, in a handbasket. That's a little crude. Back in 1900-something, Oswald Spengler, a sort of a proto-Nazi, wrote a book called The Decline of Western Civilization. Some titles are better than books. I think that's one of them. We have certainly declined. We don't have the confidence, the assurance, the moxie that we used to have. When a civilization is in its prime, it almost always develops a kind of arrogance. We're the opposite of arrogant. We're so tolerant, we're super humble. We have nothing to be arrogant about. Ideally, a civilization has a lot to be arrogant about and resists the temptation to arrogance. But if you're not even tempted, there's no virtue in resisting the temptation.
That's a very interesting take. When you would say that, the West is in steep decline, do you take the position of, say, someone like a Mark Stein, who would say it's civilization is lost, forget about it, or do you see that there's any glimmer of hope?
There's always hope. While there's life, there's hope. On the other hand, there's reason for despair. Mother Teresa famously said, when a mother can murder her own baby, what is left of Western civilization to save? The answer to that question is there is something still left of Western civilization to save. We're not wholly insane, only partly.
Talk about that a little bit more. Where's the hope? Where do you see hope?
Christ is hope, and Christ is alive, not dead. And he can regenerate anyone. Some of the greatest saints were made out of the most desperate sinners. And Israel, at the point of her deepest depravity, often had rebirths and conversions. So there's always hope.
What would it take to spark a great awakening in the West?
Two things: divine grace and our desire for it. Jesus said, seek and you shall find. What is he talking about? He's not talking about winning the lottery. He's talking about God and the role of God in our lives. And I think God is so just that he responds to our seeking. He doesn't rape us, he seduces us. He is, yes, the initiator, but that grace always turns on our free will, which then asks him for more grace. So what it would take is God's grace, but that doesn't come without our passionate desire for it and prayer for it.